central monopolist with another central monopolist. A lot of commercial banks aren't terribly excited about that. Maybe you're going to have to give some ownership. Maybe you'll have to give 50% of your ownership to the 20 banks that are now, part of this. I mean, there are other ways to build incentive systems. Maybe you put a native token in there, and you give them the native token. So there may be other incentive ways to beat the current monopolist. But I, having been around commercial banks for a long time, they really are looking for ways to replace their aggregators in their back office, whether it's clearing, settlement, exchanges, credit agencies. But they are deeply understanding, because they are pretty ambitious and very good at making money as well. They deeply understand that every idea that's pitched to them is somebody who currently is small but wants to get big and gain market power. So they're also always thinking about how to ensure that there's a check to slow down your startup from gaining market power 5, 10, and 15 years from now. They don't want you to be the next clearinghouse like the Chicago Mercantile Exchange or Intercontinental Exchange. They don't want you to be the next central node of market power. So you might share some of that with them, or you might find an incentive system.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting it more right now with Bloomberg's Sonali Basak. Sonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy. And you know, when the dealers have to step in to save a Treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, please like and subscribe if you do like what you're listening to. Please inform your friends and family and spread it all over social media. It is imperative that we get back to learning finances and understand how the world really works, because once we understand how the world really works, we understand that it is all planned out. Now, I want to thank those who purchased the books Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book. Remember, the New World Order book shows you how the world really works, and it is definitely time for you to wake up out of that sleep, especially in the times that we're in right now. And 2024 is going to be one of our most entertaining years. We have the presidential election. We have the drums are beating. We have the emerging markets going to be flipping the switch on the fourth industrial revolution. And they finally start to cut rates. And we know Japan is going to start raising rates. And those trillions of dollars that are sitting in money market accounts are going to start flowing over to the emerging markets. And we know the master magicians are about to set up that distraction so they can cut rates while we still have inflation. And in the fourth quarter, once the election is over, the movie begins. And also, guys, I want to thank those who purchased the 3 Kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, much love to those who donate to the Cash App, Patreon. Much love. Keep it coming. Guys, if you're not a part of the Patreon, make sure you're donating to the channel through the actual Cash App. But guys, this next Bitcoin and crypto bull run is going to be a utility run. So you want to make sure you have the cryptos that have real utility. And much love to those who are shopping at both stores. Keep it coming. And of course, guys, we get into Bitcoin and cryptos first.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And right now we have Bitcoin and crypto flat. And as we see, guys, for the last 7 days, majority of cryptos are in the negative. And when we look at CME for Bitcoin and Ethereum, there is no volume. And we know that's going to pick up. We're at the beginning of the month. We know it's like clockwork, but it all depends on where these yields are at. So if the yields keep moving up, we know we're only going to move up slightly. If yield rates pull back, that means that we'll get a decent pump for a few days. So make sure you're paying attention to the actual indicators. Again, we have yield rates moving on up. And we had the Fed cut by 50 basis points. They were already down. And after that 50 basis point cut, they started to move up. And that just lets you know, guys, we're in a manipulated market. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And we have the dollar moving back up. And why, guys? Because the Central Bank of Japan said they're not going to be raising rates. So that means the yen got weak, dollar got strong. But we know starting next year, that's going to change. They're going to go into a rate hiking cycle, and that's going to send a rumble in the economy. But we know we're going to get plenty of distractions. So therefore, the sheep sleep and the NWO builds. And right now, we have volume and crypto down. We have Tether and USDC. And then, of course, guys, we have the Fed. Repo at $330 billion on Friday. Make sure you're pulling it on a daily basis during the week. Now we have inflation is clearly not going anywhere. And we know the Fed is in a rate cutting cycle. Jerome Powell already stated they're going to be cutting rates while inflation is here. But we know they did that big 50 basis point cut due to the election. And once we get this new administration in office, we know the movie is going to start getting better. And we see the storm is brewing. We see the drums are beating, and we know the drums always have an agenda. And that agenda is to push us into the fourth industrial revolution, where the sheep land into this new digital economy without even understanding how they got there. And we know every single drums are beating that happened. If you go back and look at history, it moved the sheep to a new industrial revolution. Now, I created this channel to warn people, and I know you guys tell your friends and family, but don't forget, guys, just like Noah warned the people for over 120 years, they refused to listen. We know the Most High sends his teachers to warn the people. And don't forget, Yeshua told his disciples, don't be deceived. And we see plenty of deception. But don't forget, my people perish from the lack of knowledge because they rejected. Not because it's not there, because they rejected. And we can see in 2024, we have all the information right at our fingertips, but the sheep stay distracted on things that don't matter. We're in Babylon, free bread and free circuses. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Now we have Bitcoin and Ethereum spot ETFs, BlackRock, Fidelity, and Grayscale. Bitcoin and Ethereum spot ETFs were up on Friday. But getting over into a little crypto news. Who is Satoshi Nakamoto? And we have HBO doing a special. And this is the government's greatest secret. And also, this is the greatest plan ever from the central banks. Because in 2008, they totally changed this economy. When they bankrupt the whole global economy, they moved everything over to the NWO's agenda. We saw social media take over. We saw so many monopolies start to be formed. Consolidation after consolidation, especially in the banking sector. More corporations buying up single-family homes. And then we had Bitcoin being sold as the savior to get you away from the banks, get you away from the politicians. But if you follow the money, the big banks and big corporations were funding Bitcoin and crypto from the beginning because they know fiat ends. So basically, they pushed up in 2020, they pushed up killing the fiat currencies, so therefore they can bring in this new digital economy. And then what comes with that digital economy is the machines. The machines replace humanity in the workforce, taking the power away from the people. And that's the reason why it's so important for you to have a relationship with the Creator and understand the power that's within yourself. So therefore you don't fall for the devil's tricks. Make sure you watch the video I did last night with Ray Kurzweil. Remember, they call it predictions. It's not predictions when you're the one who's working on the agenda. You see the billions and billions of dollars that are coming in. That's not a prediction. You're working on a goal that was already set. And that's the NWO using robots, algorithms, and drones to take the economy over, pay each other with crypto, and the sheep to go inside the metaverse. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. But that's all I have for you. Don't forget about the books, Crypto Teacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.